give everyone a couple more minutes to join us.
Yeah, it's just 12:01.
Hey, Patty,
Hey,
you have any truffles for us?
sure. That's funny. Now join me in tasting a truffle. You've
Right.
tasted in your mouth. I can do it virtually.
Cool.
It's not a bad idea.
No.
Put that on my website.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Melody, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I think I'm good.
Awesome. Fantastic. Did you have a nice holiday weekend?
Oh, we did. Just a little crazy like everything else in my life, but I'm getting used to that. Actually, I work best in crazy, so no, actually it's really been nice. All the kids are home, so that
Oh, that's
that's
great.
the craziness, which is just fun. So
That's awesome. That is super fantastic.
Mhm.
They're at that age that mine are a little, mine. So he's older. I still get to see him, but he is past the age of going to school. He's full force in his career now.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids are, yeah, mine are still, well, school or in med school or getting ready for med school. So
Well, that's awesome.
yeah, it is.
That's fantastic. We need doctors, that's for sure.
Yeah, you would think they make it a little easier to get into med school.
Exactly. I agree. I
They're making
totally
some
agree.
very qualified candidates jump through a ton of hoops.
Yep, exactly. It's kind of, I wish that they would change that slightly. Hey,
Yeah,
Alex.
All, how is everybody?
we're all good.
Awesome. Cool.
And should we get started?
I think so. We can
Okay.
get started. We're going to record and others can join.
Yep.
Oh, good. Yeah, my COO was asking if we were recording because he can't join today, but he wanted to listen to it. So perfect.
Yep, we're recording and we'll
Cool.
get it posted to YouTube later this week.
Okay, perfect.
So thank you to everyone who's joining us today for our virtual lunch and learn. And I want to welcome Melody Reagan from Crazy Good Marketing, one of our gold partners and the marketing firm that handles all of our program management and does a fantastic job. And she is going to present marketing on a shoestring budget. And then I'm going to talk about how to use AI in your marketing. So Melody, thanks for joining us today, and I'll let you take it from here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, John Michael. I get to see Patty. I just want to say for everybody, I see Tony, Amber are there as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to chime in. This is a pretty jam-packed presentation, is what I'm going to tell you. We're going to go through some basics in marketing, and then we're also going to talk about some tools. And we're going to have a little bit of fun with it too. Let's see if I can't get this to go forward. So I want to start just by saying thank you so much for being here. Little background on both me and John Michael. I am blessed to have the opportunity to work with John Michael. And John Michael has been involved in Companies to Watch since 2022. And just so everybody knows, I have actually been involved in Companies to Watch since it first launched. So I love, love, love the program, and I love, love, love the impact on Colorado. One gift that I'd like to give to you, and I'd also like to extend this to any of your clients. We have a tool that's a really fantastic tool. We can do a technical and evaluation of your website. So if you go to the form and you will have this presentation that you can link through, it will give you a technical evaluation all the way through to talking about accessibility. So let me know if you have someone you want us to run it on, and we'd be happy to do that. So I am looking here at the chat. Please chat as I move forward with this presentation. I want each of you to think about your business, your marketing, what you're doing, and any of the issues that you have. Because if we can help you solve some things today, we'd love to do that. Please chat it, and I'll be looking at what you put in the chat. Marketing starts with the foundation. So what is marketing and what is really needed? So what is marketing? And I'm actually going to share a video from another agency. You know, it's kind of like great things come from a variety of different places. But very simply, what marketing is, and you're going to find something interesting, it's the action or business of promoting and selling products and services, but it also includes as bumpers market research, because you got to know what's going on, and the advertising that you do. Now, classically, believe it or not, sales is actually part of marketing, but we tend to kind of put them into two different categories, and they really do need to work together because marketing is all about getting somebody to purchase those products and services. So I love this video I'm going to share with you right now as a little case study. It is a little bit dated, but it totally shows you effectiveness and how marketing works.
In 2010, John Street took on one of its toughest challenges yet. Make Chelsea Badano's 8th birthday party a success in an already cluttered birthday market. Research showed that Chelsea liked the color pink and ponies, which gave us our big idea for the party. Pink ponies. Next, we got the message out there with an integrated campaign of direct mail, out of home, and social media promoting the party. On top of that, we created early word-of-mouth buzz by targeting the 3 most popular kids from Chelsea's class and inviting them to a sleepover 1 week before the party. A strategy of snacks, movies, and Justin Bieber songs was used at the sleepover. We let the hype build from there. On the day of the party, balloons, decorations, and placemats with the pink pony theme were set up on the premises to reinforce a consistent design system. The theme was carried on to below-the-line executions such as cake decoration and even the family dog. But getting the audience to the party was only half the problem. The other half was keeping them there. New media as well as traditional techniques were implemented to keep our audience engaged. But to reinforce the core idea, we went a step further. Enter Belmont Fountain. Belts or stem. Art immediately went viral with a ton of post-party coverage in both online and in traditional media. In the end, who didn't just create a birthday? Created a birthday movie. In 2010, John Street.
So I love that. That totally tells the story, and we're going to dig in through the life cycle of marketing. Couple things as far as starting. I always like to contextualize. You sell to either businesses or you sell to consumers, and there is a difference for each of those. If you look at it, a business uses the product and service in the delivery of their product and service. They look for more features. They want to be educated. You sell to individuals, and the relationship is really important. It is a less emotional buy, but I want to tell you all buys are emotional. It's more task oriented. You have shorter and fewer distribution channels, and it is a more lengthy and complex sales cycle. Whereas if you look at it for consumers, the consumers are either using it for themselves or they're giving it personally. They do look for more benefits. It is less about relationships. It's like if you go to a grocery store and you hit an end cap and they're putting its prime space, you see something. How many of you have ever, when you're checking out, you see something that's displayed and you're like, oh, I could use that. So much more emotional. It has many and diversified channels from online to in person, and it has a very short sales cycle in a comparison. So two different things, and I am going to give you some information about both as we go forward. So what is the foundation as a business that you need to have for marketing? Very simply, your foundation, you need to start by knowing who your target market is. You need to have your name and logo. Logo is part of your branding. A common mistake that I didn't put on my mistake slide is that you trademark it. Even if it's just a name for a product, you can trademark that. You can get use at the state level. You don't have to do a national. So it's an important thing for you to consider. You want an identity system. Going back to the pink pony, you want every experience that somebody is having of your company, that it reinforces your brand, it makes it memorable. They see consistency. Now, what is that? You can have a logo, you can have a symbol. I can tell you, most today have both. They have their brand name, they have a symbol. It's like the Nike Just Do It. You have a consistent color palette. Most color palettes have 5 to 6 colors. You defined your typography. Your typography is your text in your logo, as well as what you use in emails and brochures so that you create that consistent experience. You want to have a consistent brand voice. Are you fun and personal? Are you more professional? Like, for example, you can mix fun, but if I take Lisa as an attorney, she has to have a credibility or seriousness to her brand. Otherwise, people are going to question, are you really somebody who can represent me? And experience is throughout the life cycle. And when I think about experience, in the last, I'd say 5 years, we actually now talk about the 5 senses. We don't just think of an experience that somebody is reading or we're having a dialogue. I don't know if you've noticed when you go into hotels, they now have branded smells. Some offices do branded smells. If you go to Thrive Workplace and you think about Thrive Workplace and the brand at Thrive Workplace, it has a theme and a thematic. They have leaned into a look and feel and an experience that's about Colorado. You want to have a unique value proposition. So, for example, if you are a firm like Alex's firm, from an HR standpoint, what is it that you do that makes you stand out from other firms that provide the same services, so that you become more memorable? Consistent messaging is what brings this all home. Part of your foundation is unequivocally having a strong digital presence. You want to start with an SEO'd website, or you want to have a presence on the internet that is your home. But what do I mean by SEO? SEO is search engine optimized. I know we all know that. It's funny, if I go back even 5 years ago, Google only owned 70% of the search market. Today, Google owns 90% of the search market. So they are the drivers of what we do on SEO. And John Michael's going to talk about this in a little bit. About a week ago, they updated their algorithms and now they're moving deeper into AI. And you need to set your search up so that it works with AI. The other one is, I'm going to tell you, ChatGPT and others are now becoming competitors with Google. So, surprisingly, Google today processes over 13.6 billion searches every day. And I can tell you 5 years ago, they were under 10. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Whatever your placement is on the web, it needs to be mobile and responsive. And here's one of the things that is starting to happen. Depending on the industry that you're in, you might end up in a split where someone's on desktop or they're on their cell. Mobile responsive means that whatever you are creating, whether it's a brochure that you want to share electronically through to your website, it needs to be mobile enabled, and it's something that people need to be able to use on their phone. Social media, these are the top platforms. By the way, these are our current numbers of the active monthly users, and I'm going to give you some ways to figure out which platforms are right for you. Top platforms, Facebook. Facebook is still number one. And Facebook is actually a good place for business. A lot of people think of it personally, but it is actually, you have quite a few business people, business groups, doctors. Doctors have groups. I mean, there are quite a few high net worth individuals that you can get to on Facebook. YouTube is actually number two, and YouTube is actually the number two search engine. A lot of people will go directly into YouTube to do their searching for something that they're looking for. And it is a platform that a lot of businesses don't necessarily engage on, and they should. If you come down, I remember when it was a little bit less, but LinkedIn is now at 1.2 billion members as far as coming through. Twitter is only at 611 million. Twitter X has actually fallen back slightly, just so everybody knows. So why does that matter? On globally today, our population is 8.2 billion. 68% of the population actually has internet access. And there are 5.7 billion unique mobile screens and 5.2 billion social media user identities. One of the things that I'm going to show you that these are the top platforms. What's one that you hear about all the time that didn't show up in the top? TikTok. TikTok, though, is one that I am going to tell you is growing. And if you are in a consumer play, depending on where you're at in your consumer play, it is a platform that you should consider. One other thing from a foundation is you have 5 steps to a sell. I'm going to pause and say we have our executive director, Kristen Westberg, is an expert at sales process and sales cycle. So she's somebody that I would recommend that you have a conversation with. But the reason I bring this up, whether you are doing it through marketing or you're doing it through sales, these are things you always want to pay attention to the buyer's journey. So when you think about sales, it goes step 1 is your approach, then they're going to have discovery, then you're going to have presentation. So let's take that to an online place. The approach, somebody might go out to Google and do a search. How do they discover you? If they're searching on something, the content that shows up for you, does it match to what they're searching for? And this is where you drive back to your SEO. When they click through to the page, are they getting the information that they are looking for? And if they're not, that's where you get high bounce rates. So this applies whether somebody's selling in person or you are selling online or through marketing. The next thing is, as they get to know your product, you want to handle whatever objections that they may have. And you can do that through a variety of ways. We do that sometimes through FAQs. Sometimes we put a buyer's journey on a website. Sometimes it's through the materials that we allow them to download. And then you go to the close. You always want to make it easy for them. What do they do next? Do I click here to buy? How do I get it? And you want to make it super easy. And then What I love about this funnel is how do you keep them? Getting new customers, you spend a tremendous amount of money. Once you have a customer, you really want to keep that customer. So thinking about their satisfaction and also upsell. When you've been in business for a while, a lot of business actually comes from referrals. And I can say that personally for Crazy Good Marketing. We get a tremendous number of referrals. I'm not going to go deep on direct sales, but I do want to highlight this. And I have to ask, Alex, have you ever read the Little Red Book of Selling? Have you ever done that?
I have not.
It is a great book. I'm just going to recommend it. A little bit older, but it's a good book. The Little Red Book of Selling has a couple of principles, and these are some of the principles. But the principles apply for all marketing and all sales. If they like you and they believe you and they trust you and they have confidence in you, they may buy from you. With direct sales, for you to think about it, your personal branding is sales. This is something with entrepreneurs and leaders. When you become a leader of a company, an entrepreneur, you start it, you are part of the brand of that company and you need to promote you and the company needs to promote you. Personal branding is sales. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. So your marketing department should also be helping you with that. And the other one is, when you compete on price, you are in a race to the bottom. It doesn't mean that you don't need to be price competitive, but it's always about value and it's about relationships. It's not about price. And I can tell you, think about it for yourself when you're buying. If I have a 5% or so delta in a price on something, I'm going to go with the person I know, trust, believe in to give me that service. So your pro tip here is marketing and sales need to work together. So we talked about working on a shoestring budget. I'm going to share a ton of tools with you right now. And please feel free to share any questions. So I've already said what's part of your foundation is you need to make sure that you know who your target market is, who you're selling to, so that you can engage with them. Well, you want to build your persona and your messaging. There's some cool tools that make this pretty easy to do. HubSpot has a Make My Persona. It's for free. HubSpot is a marketing tool, but it's a full lifecycle marketing tool. For those of you who haven't used it, it's a little costly for the paid service is what I can say. But for the free, they have a really nice Make My Persona, and it's a free persona builder. The other thing is ChatGPT, some of the AI platforms, you can actually go in, tell it, put your website in it and say, hey, build me some buyer personas. And it will turn back to you some buyer personas. Now, the important part is you need to review that, make sure you agree with it or not. But ChatGPT is also a good tool. You can also put in some of your messaging, including your UVP, and say, give me some feedback on this. How would you enhance this unique value prop? These are great tools, but the knowledge and the capability and the creativity is you. So it's really important that you're part of that. Now, identity system, this is going back to our pink pony where everything matched and it was pink and the cards and the balloon. So how do you make sure that you have a consistent identity system across your brand? Here are some really great tools and they're free. You actually have some business name generators that are out there. Canva is one of them. John Michael's going to talk a little more about Canva. There's also a site called Logo. Logo also will create logos for you. So you can go out and try to come up with some concepts, pull them in, and then personalize it. What I love about the name generators, you can take 3 features or attributes of your business and offering and have it smash the names together and create a new and unique name for what you're doing. Now, one of the things about your business, and I actually should come back and put this in, we're in the state of Colorado. You can go and do a business trademark search at the state of Colorado. I'll add that to this slide before we post it. You always just want to check to see, does somebody else already have the name? So for example, I am going to tell you that there's a new company. We just launched we're in the process, so I'm not going to share. It's a roofing company. I won't share all the details, but the owners came in and they were in love with the name of a specific, they wanted to call it something for Colorado. Went out to USPTO to check if somebody already trademarked it, and sure enough, yes. And had they trademarked it at the Colorado Secretary of State? The answer is yes. So, you need to always check to make sure if you come up with a name, that name isn't already in use by somebody else. You can do deeper searches with an attorney. So on trademarking, there's a deeper level, but for the state, you have some great resources. And that's true for your products as well. So I'll get those links in there. Logo makers, again, with colors, etc. You also have two other, design.com is a really great resource along with logo. And I'm not going to suggest that you run something there and just take it off whole. I am going to suggest that if you see something that you like the general design of it, make it your own. So take it and kind of make it your own. Color palettes, you may have a primary. Coolers does allow you to set different colors and run them, and it allows you to see what colors work together or don't. When you do a color palette, I'm going to tell you, you want light and dark colors. And you may sit off to the side and always say, I'm going to have black and white being part of it, but you want to have light and dark. You don't want to have all dark colors because you're going to have situations where you may have to do knockouts or you want to make sure something is legible. White is always a great background. On having a home base for real small businesses, you can start out and just put yourself on Facebook. So it's like if somebody's starting a cleaning business, you can do that. But ultimately, I am going to tell you, you do need a website. In an ideal world, your website is going to be SEO'd so that when people are searching, they can find you. And I thought about this on free. If you have specific questions you want to run by me, I'm going to tell you there are so many different options and it varies based on the business that you're in. And there are ways to do this on a very low budget so that you can get a website up. But you also, if you're in an e-com, you can do e-coms like Shopify. We all know Shopify, and you can get those set up without too much complexity. It does have some SEO capabilities. They're so-so, but you can use some existing tools. One of the free things that you definitely want to get on, and going back to the 90%, is Google Business Profile. Have you ever noticed when you go out and you search or you're in Maps and you put a business name in, it's their Google Business Profile is what comes up. And Google Business Profile is free. What I will tell you is Google Business Profile works best if you are a physical presence business, whether that's an office or a retail outlet. To be a service business and put yourself on Google Business Profile is incredibly complex. They look for you to have an address. Sometimes you can get around it, but I will tell you half the time you don't. So it's a little bit complicated, and they're still trying to adapt, but they constantly push you to a physical presence. Email marketing, believe it or not, is the best ROI. It really is, and it's a couple of years ago that it came into vogue. There are tools out there, so you're going to have contacts. If you have a website, always let people be able to sign up so that they can get something from you. You can get free MailChimp or Brevo accounts. They're both good tools. You can start free before you pay for anything. I'm big on starting with free. That's one of mine. And I actually encourage all my customers to start for free when we're doing a startup. One of the things that when you go to do emails or you want people to sign up on your website to receive communications from you, offer some kind of a lead magnet, give them a checklist, a how-to guide, a coupon. You can even do that. But what I am going to tell you, one of the best things you can do something that demonstrates your expertise. So whatever that is, like it might be, here are the top 5 things to do for accounting, or here how to make sure that you're getting the right attorney. What are the 5 things this year that you should keep in your employee manual? Give them something, and it's always starting by giving. You will do a little bit better. Now, one of the things here I'm going to tell you, on your website, and I didn't put this in, but I'm going to make a quick comment about it. Text messaging is becoming more common. It is an opt-in, and you unequivocally always have to opt in. I will tell you, email still performs better than texting. And if you're going to have somebody sign up and you're going to do the texting, you have to make sure that your terms and conditions on privacy on your website reflect it, share what you're going to do with that data. It becomes very, very important. So, another pro tip here is do fewer things better. There's a lot of things you can do in marketing. Trying to do all of them can get to be too much. Social media. Social media is hands down one of the great tools that you have. And the beautiful part is, for the most part, it's free. They have free, free, free. You obviously have certain paid plans, like you can do premium on LinkedIn, but you can totally create communities for free. Now, the question becomes, which platform should you actually be on? And I'm going to tell you, you shouldn't be on all of them. And it really is potentially a waste of your time to try to be on all of them. So the question becomes, who are you engaging with? And this comes down to your target market. For years, I have used Pew Research. This link here is fantastic. It gives you all the statistics by age and education and so on and so forth. So, like, just a tremendous number of just a tremendous number of it's information for your target market so that you can pick which platform should I be on. And it just covers you, gender, etc. So take a peek at this and you'll be able to see, am I on the right ones? Now, content matters. Content, here are some great tools. Enter the Public is you can do three free searches a day. It gives you great ideas. Pick your topic, and what it tells you is what people are searching for. So does Google Trends, Canva for design. A subscription that is very inexpensive that gives you a lot is Envato Elements. You can get images. You can also get plugins for your website. You can get videos. You can get brochure templates, design templates. It is very cost effective. The other one, which is a foundation of companies to watch, is partnerships. Collaborate and figure out ways to cross promote. So, for example, if you create an article, you can share elements of that article with somebody else to post on their website or ask them to be a guest writer on yours. Shout outs and giveaways, which John Michael is fantastic about with social, constantly pushing and sharing information, will totally have a positive impact. Another pro tip here is time and creativity is actually greater than money. So what you put into it is what you will get out. I'm going to rush through a couple of others because I want John Michael to do the AI. Here are some things for you on your content. Content is queen. So think about how you're going to go about doing it and make sure it is consistent. Just putting content out for the sake of one here and there. Consistency matters. Do use hashtags. People do search for hashtags. And put together a content calendar. So I've given you a link for doing that. You want thematics that will carry forward with your brand and your positioning for a period. We already talked about the buyer journey. I put in a free AI tool here that you can start with to create a buyer journey. One of the things with content, it's not just selling and pushing products and services, educate, give. Always start by giving education and create in-depth content. I will tell you, Google will rank you higher with in-depth content than it will with a 500 word. I can tell you for some clients, we do over 1,000 or 1,500 word pieces, and we rank higher and we get higher positioning on our keywords. Video is the new paragraph, and there's some cool tools that you can use for doing video. You can also be authentic and just take a video with your phone. 82% of consumers actually make purchase decisions with video, and I think that's also driving us more to TikTok. PR does matter. If you are in an industry and you know a reporter or two, connect with that reporter or two. You can just send them an email. If you read an article, send them an email. Influencers have become big. There is no tool to identify an influencer. It's being known in your market and reaching out to them. But believe it or not, currently the influencer market is running at over 24 billion. It has become a really important channel, particularly with consumer, but it is totally starting to move heavier and heavier into B2B. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. Measuring is important. If you have a website, make sure you have Google Analytics on it. It's free. There's another tool that people are not aware of, Microsoft Clarity. You can actually sign up for free on Microsoft Clarity, put your website in, and it gives you some amazing statistics. One other one that I am going to say, when you move to a certain place, doing some low-cost testing in your advertising, you can have some pretty positive impacts with Facebook or Meta for $5 a day. You can also do one Google Smart campaign and set it where you're running. You start off $5 a day. Create a marketing plan. I'm not big on a thumb factor, but I gave you some templates. All that is look at all of the different areas of marketing and what you're going to do, how you're going to use your resource, which is very limited, and how you're going to balance that out. Make sure that you have a little bit of a plan. Event marketing is back in vogue, just so everybody knows. Like today, we're doing an event. And we also do a lot of in-person events with companies to watch. They are important in your marketing mix, particular B2B. I put in here very quickly, I want you to see what marketers use. This is from HubSpot. And what are the channels that we as marketers use more often than others? So you can do a quick comparative. Am I using these channels? Am I using social media? Do I have a website blog? Am I using email marketing? And you get to see the percentage. Now, budgets. What do people spend on marketing? This is one that in 2024, according to Gartner, US marketing budgets averaged 7.7% of revenues. That was down from 2023. What I can tell you is in 2025, it is expected that those budgets are going to go up. What drives your budget is going to vary by your company size, your market, the type of products, your growth stage, the industry, who you're selling to. And if you look over here on the left, what I've given you, and this is from February of this year, is what is the percentage of the company revenues by the industry. One thing I do want you to know, yeah?
Oh, sorry. Never
That's
mind.
B2C it takes more money to market B2C than it does B2B. It totally runs higher. And if you look at the amount that is projected to be spent this year on B2C companies, it's 690 billion versus 111 billion for B2B firms. Small businesses often, small to mid-size, so here they often allocate 5 to 15,000 a month for their marketing. Interestingly enough, 58% of that is typically applied to digital. So just as far as closing this out super fast, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to pass it to John Michael for AI. And I love questions. Mistakes that you want to avoid, not having a clear target market and trying to be everything for everybody. It'll pull you apart. So it's like understanding, because you can't create your brand, having an inconsistent branding. It really is important. Use your logo, use your colors, picture your typography, be consistent. Not paying attention to where you're at in the cycle. When you first start up, it's going to take more. It's like if you're in a consumer play, to even drive brand awareness takes an awful lot. Neglecting SEO. SEO really does matter. John Michael's going to share that. I've had clients that neglect social media. Don't do that. Now, I'm going to pause on one thing and I want to tell you this is really important. If you're going to have an online presence with a website, make sure that you have accessibility. The assessment that we do will tell you about your accessibility. What does that mean? That anybody with different capabilities and the tools for those different capabilities can engage with your online presence. There are actually firms out there that have made it, because there's laws around this, they have made it a business model where they just sue businesses over this, the law firms themselves. They sue it, and then what happens is they settle, and the company will settle for like 5,000 or whatever. So it really is an important thing for you to pay attention to. The other thing that can get you into hot water is privacy. Making sure if you're taking information in with emails, et cetera, that you have your privacy terms and that you protect that information. When you have someone's information or they unsubscribe to an email, you have to honor that, because that's where lawsuits can happen. Last two, too much automation, you lose your authenticity, over reliance on AI and not paying attention to your data quality. Just because AI gives you an answer doesn't mean it's right. And then my last thing I am going to say is trying to do everything yourself. There are things that I can tell you, just bringing in an expert in the right places can make a big difference, like SEO or ads, or making sure that you've technically set up your website correctly. Because at the end of the day, what I tell everybody, everything is organic and always changing. So with that, I'm going to pass to John Michael, and he's going to give you some insights on AI specifically.
Awesome. Thank you, Melody. That was great information, and appreciate you sharing all that with our wonderful community. So really quick, just wanted to do a quick overview on AI. So AI it's changing almost daily. So just in the past week, Google has launched some new AI tools. They're changing the way that search marketing is happening. ChatGPT is working on their 5.0 model. Sam Altman with OpenAI and Joni Ive, formerly with Apple, have joined forces to launch a new company called IO. That's very exciting. And then Apple is working on some new AI stuff that they're expected to introduce later this year. So AI is really taking hold, really growing, and it is the new age of marketing. Using AI and how AI delivers information to people is going to change how we market to people, because people are consuming data in different ways. I love this quote. Jonathan Lieber, who is the CEO of the Better Business Bureau down here in Colorado Springs, he's really pushing this quote of busy is the enemy of strategy. So leaders must leverage generative AI to really make your life easier, streamline processes, take care of those repetitive tasks so that you can really focus on strategy and implementing that and growing your business. Generative AI won't replace people, but people who use generative AI will replace the people who don't, from IBM. Use AI as a tool to help you become more productive and efficient at what you do. I will say, don't get overwhelmed with it. Just learn it, use it. We can move on to the next slide. So there are hundreds of AI tools out there. I mean, I was trying to find an infographic that would summarize it. There's no infographic that can summarize all the AI tools out there. But here's some common ones. You know, ChatGPT is one of the most popular ones. I think everyone's familiar with that. Most people are using it and playing with it. Gemini from Google is another one that is gaining popularity. I think a lot of people who aren't specifically graphic designers are using Canva to do fairly easy and straightforward graphics and videos. And there's some new AI tools in Canva that can help you generate more authentic graphics, help you create color schemes and videos. Notebook LM is becoming very popular. That's a Google tool that helps you take text information and turn it into podcasts or recordings. You can take your employees manual, put in Notebook LM, and create a training course for new employees. And then there's Claude and Copilot from Microsoft that's out there. So common AI tools, you can use it to write copy, create written content, create graphics and illustrations, create videos. Some of the videos that Google has shown with their new AI tools is just mind-blowing. I mean, it looks like real movies, real actors doing the videos. You can use AI tools for voiceovers and music. I've played with Suno a few times to create some music. It's fun, and you can use that for marketing. And then what I really use ChatGPT and Gemini for is brainstorming new ideas, strategies, outlines, marketing plans, just really looking at it as an assistant to me to help broaden my mental capabilities and generate new ideas that based off what I'm entering into ChatGPT. But most important, anything you do with AI, keep it authentic. Make sure there's a human part to it. Don't rely on AI for everything. So as I was saying, keeping up with AI is you're just never going to keep up with it. It is changing daily. The best thing you can do is just give it your best shot. Give it the time you can afford to keep learning AI. You can never catch up with it. Don't stress about it. Just do the best you can. There's plenty of resources out there, and one of my favorite resources is the AI Salon. So the AI Salon, and I'm going to put it in chat, was founded by Kyle Shannon with Storyvine, and Storyvine is a Colorado Companies to Watch winner from a few years ago. And Kyle is, and this is one of his AI personas that I have here. Kyle is a interesting person. He's an AI enthusiast, and he started the AI Salon to build a community of people who want to embrace AI and support each other in learning it and using AI for good. So join the AI Salon. It's a great community, a great support system. He does office hours on Fridays from 11 to 12 on LinkedIn. And, he'll just get on there and talk about AI and have conversations with people and show them the new tools. And then you can find him on TikTok and YouTube at night where he's playing with AI tools and having fun. There's plenty of videos on YouTube on how you can use the different AI tools. And I even use TikTok, honestly. I go on TikTok and see what just regular people are using AI for. And then look at your local Better Business Bureau and Small Business Development Center for their classes. A lot of them are really embracing AI and doing some fantastic educational classes around AI. And then Google and Microsoft have some AI classes that you can take. In fact, I was in the middle of taking the Google certification on AI, and things changed so much. They sent an email out that the certification was no longer valid. So I'm going to have to start over on the certification because that's just how fast things are changing. So best advice, just get out there, start playing with them, use them, see what they can do for you to make your life easier. One of the key lessons I've learned over the past few months is use AI for the stuff that you really don't want to do that's taking up a lot of your time. See how you can use AI to free that up so you can do the things you enjoy. So last week it's
Big.
coming, but last week was kind of groundbreaking with the new stuff coming out from Google. So the future of SEO is really changing now. We're going in this transition period from search engine results to AI powered search results, which in another term, answer engines. People are not wanting to type in a query and get a list of a bunch of websites that they have to go through. They want the information served up to them immediately. They want those answers immediately. So that
Right.
is really changing how search engine optimization is going to work in the next few years. Based on one study, organic search traffic is going to decrease possibly 50% or more by 2028. And what that means is when people go on Google or ChatGPT or Perplexity, they're typing what they're looking for, and those search engines and those AI tools are going to serve up the answer they're looking for, and you're not going to get that click-through rate to your website. So what does that mean for you? That means you need to start leaning into AI-powered search. So some tips on, we can go to the next slide.
Mhm.
So here's some quick tips that you can start implementing now to prepare for AI-powered search. So trust and credibility are key to AI-powered search. They're not going to just serve up anything. They're really going to look at your credibility because they want to provide the right answer. They're not providing a list of websites that could possibly have the right answer. They want to provide the right answer. So that means you have to show trust and credibility. And how do you do that? Through having citations, having well completed Google business profile, making sure you're on Yelp, making sure you're accredited through the Better Business Bureau and other well-known third parties. Make sure you're prioritizing direct answers, making sure your website has structured data. And if you don't know what structured data is, that is the code behind the page that tells Google and the other crawlers what that page is about and what the information is that you're providing. You want to expand and refine your FAQs and make sure your structured content is in a Q&A style, because people are going on these AI platforms asking questions and they're going out there looking for the answers. So you want to be more conversational, more, think of it like a long tail keyword rather than as one or two keywords. Create robust and relevant content that only you can provide. Don't go on AI and just start, like Melody says, start generating all this content and throwing it on the website. That's not gonna go well.
It is.
Provide content that only you can provide as a human. Think of storytelling. Instead of saying these are all the services we do, provide case studies, real life case studies of something you did for a client or for a customer, and the positive result of that. And make sure you're authentic. Make sure you have that, again, have that human side to your marketing. Make sure you update your service and contact pages to build up your credibility. Don't be afraid to talk about, the awards you've won. Don't be shy about your accomplishments and what your business has done, because that's just going to prove to the crawlers your credibility and give you a better chance of showing up in those answers that AI is going to provide consumers. And then, look at what the questions are that your customers are asking and make sure you're providing those answers on your website through your FAQs and possibly expanded blog pages. What are they looking for? What are they asking you in person? And make sure those are being answered on your website. And then continue to use social media. That is a very important signal, and it builds your credibility with the AI powered search. Like Melody said, you don't have to be on every platform. Be on the platforms that make sense to you or that you're comfortable with, but make sure you're on social media providing human relevant content.
Fantastic. By the way, you guys just got a real quick mini covering the broad base, chunk full of what is marketing and tools to do it.
Yes.
That was a lot in 55 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? So I have one. Did anybody learn anything? Did you learn something new?
Absolutely.
That we continue to be overwhelmed by everything.
Isn't
You've
that-
confirmed that. Thanks, Melanie.
I second that, definitely. Like, oh my God.
Oh,
I guess I have a question about this.
yeah.
In I'm Patty Denny. I own Telluride Truffle Artisan Chocolate Company,
You were
which
very popular, by the way, at the
oh,
Winners
thank
Welcome. Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
yeah, thank you. And it helped to hear about a number of things that we do have in place. We have a lot of these things in place.
Excellent.
You know, mainly because before when I was starting the company, I didn't expect it to work. I was very aware of the competition out there. I started it on the internet as an online shop.
Excellent.
So that is really uniqueness is key in the chocolate world, in my opinion. But anyway, I have spent a lot of money on marketing and have continually been burned. And
Mhm.
I mean, the only success I've seen is social. Boy, great ROI on social. And that's getting more difficult because now everybody's doing it. But
Right.
luckily I have a product that people like, oh, chocolate. You know, it's easier to grab people's attention. And at this point, I've been so burned by marketing companies. And the last one, I really thought that I interviewed them very thoroughly. I vetted them, I checked their reviews. I directly asked the owner of the company, okay, I know this takes a while for me to start to see ROI. But I said to her, what happens if after 4 months we don't see anything? What are you going to say? What's going to be your response? And she's like, well, I'll be extremely concerned that we haven't shown you anything in 4 months. Well, we ran it at around 5 months. I said to her, we have seen zero increase with all the money we've been paying. And it wasn't a tremendous amount of money. And that's kind of what I'm wondering. Do I not have enough money for marketing to work? Do you know what I mean? Like it takes $100,000 in marketing for it to really show up. But yeah, after 5 months, I was like, we haven't seen any kind of increase. And then she just gave me a lot of excuses. Well, you know, Patty, blah, 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 blah. The same excuses marketing companies always give me. Well, you don't know, you know, times are a little tough right now. And I shut her down. I was like, I'm done pulling away. And so I know marketing is really important, but I just don't know where to go from here. I don't know how to trust and I have a really easily marketing. I mean, my company
You
is
do.
easily
You do.
marketable. You know, this isn't a hard sell.
So Patty,
I have
what tactics was this marketing firm using, if I could ask?
Well, the first thing they did, which really impressed me, I thought it was great, but looking back, I just shake my head. They had me come up there for a 4-hour meeting where we really looked at the product. What's the marketing angle? How do I stand out? All that kind of thing. But I paid for that. I paid, I think, almost $3,000 for that meeting, just for them to do that.
Yeah.
And so that was good, but it didn't show up in the marketing. It didn't show up in social. In fact, when I hired a new social networking person just to do social after that, she was amazed at how bad the social was on their part. I mean, it just seemed like anyway, so I'm vetting a bit, Melody, but
Yeah.
I'm literally just kind of like, I don't know where to go from here.
So Patty, what I will offer this just out of supporting you. If you want to have a conversation on your tactics, I will gladly share with you what tactics are and what you should pay for them. And regardless, it's whoever it is that you're working with and some of the things that you should do. I am a big believer that knowledge is power, and they should have been giving you metrics all the way through. It's not just saying that they're doing it, what is working and what isn't. They should have let you know all the way through. They also need to, whoever that agency is, they need to be tied to your team. If your team's doing social media, everybody should be working together to bring things forward. What I can tell you, knowing your industry, social media is going to be really important for you. The other thing that there's a couple of things depending on, I don't know your geography, but how you do different events, but I can tell you low-level advertising, and I would hit your social media platforms could definitely have an impact. I will tell you that TV has become niche. I have clients that radio, TV, and blah, blah, blah. And that's a brand awareness. You spend an awful lot of money for a very little return if you aren't getting it totally connected, is what I can tell you. It's a way to waste money if you're not doing it unequivocally in the right way in the right place. So I would be more than happy just to, you and I can break it down and then I can just tell you, because I've been doing this my entire career. So
Melody, they did give me reports and they all looked good, but it wasn't turning into sales.
yeah,
Do
but
you know what I
their
mean? They're like
report should be
a
counting on
lot of
sales.
a lot of clicks, like, oh,
Yeah.
but the clicks weren't,
They weren't good. By the way,
yeah, or
clicks by themselves,
no, mean
that's a
nothing.
misnomer.
Yeah.
I can tell you for any of you, I could easily produce a ton of clicks, but that's easy. But getting you to your audience, so it's a metrics to your funnel, but your conversion, if they're not purchasing, then it hasn't converted all the way to the bottom. Eyeballs, it used to be eyeballs were the thing. Eyeballs are easy. It's getting what you're looking for is the channel that's going to connect you to the people who are going to buy.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
very simple, connecting it to the people that are going to buy.
Okay, thank you, Melody.
Oh, you're welcome. And you have a right to be frustrated. You're not the first person that has said that. And you do get you get a lot of marketers too. Here's something, and I can tell, I worked at level 3, and I used to have the debate with the other executives, and they had an opinion about an ad, et cetera. And it was like, we're not selling to you. It's not about you, it's about who we're selling to. You get a lot of people that just because they buy, they think they know how to market, and you don't. And you get junior people that are there, and it's like they've got ideas, but it's a discipline and it's a process, is what it is. It's unequivocally, and it's very numbers driven, Patty. That's a mistake that people make. It's incredibly numbers driven.
Yeah. The bottom line is you just can't spend a great deal on marketing and not see some ROI.
That's
I mean,
exactly right.
you just are like, look, this is costing me way more than I'm making. So it's
Exactly.
just okay. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you. Anybody else?
Good question. Hi, I'm Amber. I want to thank you both for this presentation. It was really nice. I learned a lot.
Awesome.
I'm here representing my company, Skyhook Solar. And so my question is more, I feel like I've learned a lot about the B2C, and that's where my experience has been in the past, but now I'm in a space working B2B. And so when it comes to like trying to pick a marketing campaign, writing blogs or doing a podcast or even social media, I know there's a difference between B2C, but I can't really place it. Like I don't know how you're trying to target that B2B market when you're thinking of like, oh, it'd be great to work with this company, but there's a billion people that work at that company. Are they on TikTok searching up stuff for their work? Like it, I don't know how to even start thinking about it in order to generate content when going B2B.
So, Amber, can I ask what's your product?
Yeah, we make solar generators to charge like e-bikes and scooters and EVs.
And are you selling direct to consumer, or do you selling to businesses that provide those? Are you in an OEM play?
Yeah, we sell to more like the program. So like Lyft is one of our clients. And so they'll buy our stations to power their bikes. things like that. So we work a lot like in the commercial space and through government contracts and things like that. So it's right now we do everything cold call or going to conventions to talk with people is how we generate any kind of lead.
So cold calls, conventions, unequivocally, you're in a direct sale. What I would tell you is if you're here in terms of features, you definitely need to be on social. You need to provide information and understand what they search for when they go to buy. So for example, Denver Rubber is a company of ours that we serve. I have several B2B. We hands down, we push on their content on their website. It is so SEO'd you can't even see straight with all the materials. Seriously, every page has a conversion opportunity. And then we do run Google Ads for them. Their Google Ads, by the way, Patty, they get 30 leads a month. And these are big deals. They are an OEMer and we convert. We are a major channel for them between the SEO and their ads. It's a major channel that produces sales for them. And it's because we've achieved the target. But the other thing, if you go to the website, Amber, we are sharing knowledge. So we put knowledge out for them. We tell people about things, how to go about the design specs, etc. And then we target them accordingly. So what I am going to tell you, you need to make sure that you're SEO'd. You need to provide knowledge. I would encourage some baseline, some simple ads. I wouldn't spend a crazy amount, but I would do some baseline so that you're getting in front of them and make sure you're giving people information. Like when they're making a decision about your product, what are the things that they have to question? What makes you stand out, etc. So it actually is different. The other thing that I would suggest for you with LinkedIn, social selling. LinkedIn is a really great place for you. There's a tool where you begin to engage online and you create awareness where you're connecting one-to-one with your buyers, your potential buyers. LinkedIn to me would be a really great platform. TikTok could be a personality. There's only so much time in a day. I would tell you, you want to be in the place that your audience is. Does this make sense? Is this helping at all?
Yeah, that helps a lot. I think a follow-up I have to that just quickly would be like, if you're running an ad, are you kind of like, how do you know where to place that for a company? Like if we're using Lyft as an example, how do you know where Lyft kind of lives? Is it where their employees might live, which is why you say LinkedIn? Or like, I don't know if my question makes sense.
By the way, that's where, where we talked about your buyer persona. It's understanding your buyer persona. In all of these platforms, you have a way to target people. You'll learn things like you can do specific targeting based on interest. You can do it based on their age, their income levels. There's a variety of different things. And it's showing up in the groups so there's grooming that you have to do to your targeting. So it's not just throwing it out to everybody. You can unequivocally target. But what I am going to say is it needs to time with your brand and for you to share knowledge. And then, Amber, I would be happy to talk to you just a little bit about how to set up a drip campaign where you can run that and run it through LinkedIn too, as far as getting to different companies. Do you already have keywords? And I'm going to guess, Patty, you already have keywords. Your
Yes,
keywords matter.
yes.
Yeah, I don't think we have specific, like I don't even think we have an actual campaign that's running or anything like that. We've never set something up like that. So we're kind of like in the early stages of marketing, which is why it's been cold calls or in-person connections. So yeah, all of this is really helpful.
Sweet. Seriously, I'm more than happy, you guys, Amber, I will take and I can just show you very quickly. I'm a big believer. I will bore you guys with John Michael's laughing like, let me show you how this actually works. I am such a numbers person too. So if you want to have a quick call, I actually can show you a couple of things. And just so you know, I am not selling, I am giving. So don't feel like there's anything that you feel that you have to come back to. It's really easy for me to do this for you. Okay?
And
Thank you.
I dropped both our emails in the chat if anyone wants to reach out to us about questions or.
Yeah. Marketing definitely matters, is what I can tell you. It definitely, but it's exactly, Patty, you were spot on. You can waste so much money unintended. And
Yeah.
everybody, and I even come back, like I have another client, we actually, I have some great success stories, but he just wanted to go off and do some ads with television. And I told him it's not going to produce, and it didn't. But that's okay. It's his choice. It's his brand, right? But it didn't produce because it's become such a niche play.
I just had
Cool.
an opportunity on, it came from the marketing department of Union Station. There's a guy on Fox 31, and he does some kind of funny every morning, I guess every morning, he does this, meets with somebody, and he came to my kitchen at 6 in the morning,
Wow.
and I know I had to be up, ready, machines on, and makeup on by 6 a.m. But I did it, and they gave me 8 spots of 3 minutes with him, and that was free. And that's
Good.
what I find. These things that
Good.
are free is the
Good.
thing I get the most
Good.
bang out of.
Yeah.
Within 2 hours of that piece ending,
Yeah.
we had nonstop people coming in the shop for 2 days.
Yeah.
And also I was on Food Network. That was a tremendous shot in the arm. Again, free.
Free.
So it's these free things that really have
Mhm.
created a lot of recognition for me.
Yeah. By the way, that goes back to like picking people that are in your industry from a PR standpoint, just one, two, or three, and become a source for them. And then the other follow on is just pick them and start building a relationship and go, if you have questions, I'll help you, here. And then all of a sudden they'll start quoting you, etc. See, that to me, you were on a show, it was relevant and it connected you with your audience versus running an ad that might run at 11 p.m. at night
Yeah.
on this particular outlet that may have absolutely no geographical relevance or relevance to your target market at all.
Yeah.
Cool. So Lisa, I'm loving your hair today. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
I had to do a photo shoot for our new website. I much,
Cool.
I much prefer the pulled back in my sweats, but here I am. Curled up on a couch eating Patty's chocolates. That's my.
I'll get them to you, Lisa. I will personally deliver them.
Awesome.
Patty, I'd walk across town to get them from you.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Well, thank you guys for going over. I am so sorry. There's so much here. My offer, if you would like, I'm more than happy to hop on a quick chat with you, review things, review your numbers, and I will give you an honest opinion. I'm the kind of person, I tell everybody this, if you ask me to give you an opinion, please be prepared for me to give you my real opinion, because I will.
Well,
So,
that's valuable.
yeah, it is.
Cool.
Thanks, Melody. It was very, very helpful. I loved all the links. And John Michael, you said you were gonna post this on YouTube, and
Yeah,
then are we also, what about the materials?
Yeah, we'll get those mailed out this week.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
gonna put the 2 trademark links in the presentation too, so they'll be out there for doing
All right.
searches. Awesome.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks.
great
Really great to
afternoon.
have you here.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.